Hi, everyone. My story is about the time that the actor Broderick Crawford almost got me fired from my first full-time job. He didn't intend to. In fact, he didn't even know me, but I knew him because my first full-time job was as a movie editor for a TV station in Harrisburg. And he was in a lot of these movies. Now, Broderick Crawford won an Academy Award in 1949, but after that, his career just went downhill. And during the 50s and 60s, he made a lot of low budget B movies. He either played a private eye or a police detective. And he was that, you probably know him, he's got that hound dog faced, gruff attitude. And my job was to get these movies into the station on 16 millimeter film, watch them, mark the places where the commercial breaks should go, take out the swear words and any nudity, and in most cases shorten them so they'd fit within the TV time slot that they were assigned to. Now I know most of you movie buffs out there are thinking shortening a movie so it fits on TV, that should be a capital crime. But remember, these were B movies, so in many cases shortening them was an improvement. They were over sooner. One week I had more than the usual number of movies to get through, so I didn't even watch the Sunday afternoon movie until late Thursday afternoon. And I was watching the last reel when I hear this tearing, shredding sound. And I turned around to the projector just in time to see shards of 16 millimeter film flying through the air. And I realized that the station that had this particular copy before me had ripped out some sprocket holes and didn't tell anybody. And they just sent it on to me to deal with. So I called the distributor and I said, hey, I need another print in here fast. This is airing this weekend. And somehow they managed to get it to me from New York to Harrisburg in 24 hours. And I already watched it, I already screened it, and I had my notes for the breaks and the cuts. So I just got it in time for the weekend. Monday morning rolls around, and I walk down into the pit. The pit was where the engineers and the projectors in my office were. Said, good morning. And the engineers looked at me funny. And one of them said, I didn't think you'd come in today. And another one said, Mr. Abbott's looking for you. Now, Mr. Abbott was the general manager, real nice guy. He liked me, I liked him, but he never came down into that pit unless it was something serious. So finally, I quizzed the engineers, and one of them had worked Sunday afternoon. He said, we were running that Broderick Crawford movie, and the word hell went over the air. Now, hell, sometimes I let go, so they figured I let that one slip through. And then a little bit later on, the word goddamn went over the air. Now, I let the word damn go over, but if it's goddamn, I'll take a little piece of tape and cover up the word God. So you just hear damn. And it finally hit me. The distributor had sent me the theatrical version, not the edited for TV version. And I was going to get fired. So I'm panicking. I say to the engineer, okay, what was the absolute worst thing that went on the air? Maybe it wasn't so bad. And he said, there was this one scene where Broderick Crawford goes to the police station to interview a suspect. And the captain at the desk said, you can't see him now, he's being escorted to the toilet. And Broderick Crawford says, just let him piss on the floor. Now the word piss, you just don't hear the word piss on TV. Not even the 21st century, the worst shows like Two Broke Girls, you don't hear the word piss. And here I had just broadcasted in family viewing hour on a Sunday afternoon to all of central Pennsylvania. That was definitely not what I intended. So I go to my office, I plan my escape. I can't lie, I can't pass the buck. It was definitely my miss. And then I thought, maybe if I make a preemptive strike, maybe if I get to him before he gets to me, I might have a chance. So I rush up the steps, through the offices, turn the corner that in the hallway leading to Mr. Ebbett's office, just as he's coming out, heading towards the pit. And we both froze at opposite ends of the hallway. It was like a showdown at high noon in a Western movie, except Mr. Ebbett had all the guns. So I said, the only thing I could think of that he might possibly want to hear, and I said, it'll never happen again. And he looked at me and he said, it better not. And he turned around and went back into his office. Now that's a good general manager. He could have fired me. He would have had to deal with somebody new. He would have had trained somebody. But if he kept me on, he knew he had me by the balls. He knew I would never, ever make a mistake again. And he was right. I worked for that man for another 10 years before I moved to Westchester. And I was the best damned employee he ever had. Thanks.